Ever had that imposter syndrome as a coach? Like, what do I put out there? Anybody gonna? Man, I said that a lot, but like it's real. Like it's like, am I good? And maybe it's not full out imposter syndrome. Maybe you wouldn't own it openly like that, but you might have it be a feeling of, is this gonna work? Like if I do get someone to work with me, am I gonna be able to get them a result? And that's what we're gonna talk about today, your results process. That's a big, big thing that's important as a coach. Because here's the truth. There's times like when fitness space, when I owned a gym, there's times when I would have clients come in and some would get great results and some didn't. And what it was like I just kind of randomly did some things that got somebody a result and I couldn't duplicate it for the next person. So therefore, couldn't get the results consistently. Therefore, the business was always topsy-turvy. And I started losing confidence to continue to keep bringing people in because it's a crapshoot, hit or miss. I might get some success, I might not, I don't know. And then also, I found it was always hard to make a sale because I was always making the sale based on like, I got it, I can do it, I used to play in the NFL and yada, yada, things that didn't matter to them. But then things changed. I got to a point where I created a process in my business where I could promise and guarantee results. It was a process that was duplicatable. So much so that I could hire other staff, other trainers, teach them, and they could roll through and become a great coach. No different in the personal development space. I don't care if you do real estate. I don't care what you do. If you're coaching somebody on anything, if you do not have a results process, you have nothing. You have you, and that's a job. It's not a business. A business is one where you can be able to say, here's my process. Take it out of my head, unplug it, pop it down so anybody can do it. I can do it, great. If I want to, beautiful. I can have it be filmed, recorded outside of my brain. It's automated. I can then hire other coaches that can then do my process. Boom, I got a certification or team training people, right? Or I can certify. You like my process? Pay me some money. You can utilize it with other people. So what I'm looking at today is how do you walk through the process baseline of creating a results process? You have to have one. Like I have what's called the shift method. It's a process. See, shift, sustain. I have definitive programs that can work somebody through each progressive level of it. It's to the level if I wanted to, you could actually come in and say, I want to be an identity shift coach. Got you. Here's the process. Here's the documents. Here's the videos. Here's the questions. It's all there. It's a process I learned, studied, unpacked, wrote down, created, and then I put it into the world. And it's always an ebb and a flow. It moves, it has a lot of frequency and flow, but you have to have one. So here is how you create that. First, as a coach, I do not believe anybody really should teach something that they haven't crossed the finish line of already. Like if you haven't mastered that thing, like I don't know if you teach it unless it's you doing a lot of interviews or introducing somebody to someone that knows this stuff. Like maybe you pull the interviews out, unpack what you've learned and share that. But if you're gonna get on the phone and guide somebody through a process, if you wanna teach somebody how to manage divorce, if you haven't gotten through your divorce successfully, I don't think you should coach that. That's just my personal opinion. And think about it. Do you wanna hire somebody who's gonna tell you how to buy a house if they've never closed the house themselves for themselves? Like, no, I don't. I want you to finish the process, which leads us to point one. What's the destination? I don't think you can read that now that I'm thinking about it, but it says destination. I tried to make it small enough to fit underneath this piece here, but that's where you taking somebody. Once you've already gone there, now I know the destination. And this gives us a very, very good, clear picture of how to get to the next step. Because a lot of us are like, man, who do I want to work with? Ever had that question? Who do I want to serve? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to be able to help? Well, at the end of the day, who wants to be where you've gone? Simple question, like who wants to be at a place that you have gone? Once you understand that, it's different. Like if you say someone, destination is I was a professional athlete. Well, I'm gonna go work with people that might want to be professional athletes. It's gonna help clarify when I understand what finish line have I crossed that I want to teach. And also, you're going to continue to keep crossing finish lines. And as you continue to do it, that's an okay thing. The more finish lines you cross, the more you can coach over time. And when you get started right now, you don't have to think about what's the race you're running. What finish line have you already crossed? Start there. Because there is somebody, which we're going to lead to the next one, number 2, there is somebody who is starting in a place that you have started. Because that's the big thing if you think about it. Who's starting in a place that I've already been? If you think about the simple thing, I'm here. Where was I? Because now that I know who wants to be there, let me go find somebody who is where I was. Because now it connects the dots easier. Now it's like, oh, I get that. That was a guy who, had a business, right? So my destination, I have a consistent, successful coaching business. So I am like, if you want to have a consistent, successful coaching business that gives you revenue to create programs and coach and teach and frees up your time, you can have more fun with your family. You can serve people and love the results they get and love on them in the background sometimes. If you want that, I'm going to find the people that are starting from a place of not having that. They want it. They got a great story, a great experiences, a passion to help, to serve, like a heart like mine that really I just want people to be happy. Like, if you know me, I'm just a happy guy, man. Like, I just try to be joy to everybody that's in my area. And so when I look at people that are trying to do that, I say, where are you at right now? Do you have that passion? Do you have that heart? Do you have nothing in place but a desire? Have you tried some speaking engagements? Have you started posting things on social media? Like, hey, I'm a coach, hire me, but you have no process? Like, that's where I'm finding people where they're going to start, right? So find out where those people are starting. This gives you a very baseline structure of how to create your process. Then you have 3 and 4. Now I'm going to give them to you seriously, super simple. Like, this is the goal. I want it to be so simple. It's like, oh, that's all I have to do? Yeah. Now it can be super detailed and very extensive, and you will get to that point. But here's how it works. The first thing you do is say, okay, I got here and I was starting here. What did I first have to pick up? What did I have to learn? What books did I need to read? What skill sets did I have to do? What clarity did I have to figure out? Like, what exactly did I need to do along this journey? Because right now, for a lot of the clients you want to work with, they're missing something. That's the thing, they're missing something. And you can provide that insight, the information, the guidance, you can provide it for them. So when you look at it, look in your own life and say, man, where did I have to learn something I didn't know before? Like, when I started looking at coaching, what did I have to learn? I had to learn, okay, how do I become consistent and create awareness for my brand? Like, how do I make video content you're watching now that people see? How do I make advertisements if that's what I'm going to do, right? How do I understand how to market? How do I get dialed into what my specific demographic is? How do I create language that works? How do I create X, Y, and Z? How do I create all the things necessary to have a coaching business in place? Not just a coaching thought, or I kind of have fun doing it, but an actual business, because a business serves, right? People can serve. But when you get a business doing it, it means you've taken it serious enough to really change somebody's life. Because if somebody's going to give you dollars that they've spent time and energy making to give to you, you'd better have something solid in place to serve them at a high level. And if you don't, that's why you have the imposter syndrome, why you feel like, man, especially if you have a heart, you're like, I don't want to waste this person's money. So what did you have to pick up, figure out, learn along this way to get yourself to a space of saying, all right, I got information. Once you have that, here's what you're going to find. I need to figure out, what do I need to put down, right? Because if I get here in the beginning of the hill, like, I'm picking things up, I feel good, I'm going, then I get to the point and realize, you know what? This stuff's getting heavy. Like, what's getting heavy? The people in your life that don't support you. Put them down. Maybe down here I had to get certain friends in my life, certain coaches, certain information. I had to get this. And as I go uphill, because it gets hard to get to the destination you're at. Think about where you're at that you want to coach on. It was a hard climb. You had to put things down. I had to put down childish ways. I had to mature. I had to put down people that didn't support me. I had to stop bad habits. I had to put down wasting time watching television. I had to put down a desire for things that didn't fulfill me or didn't serve the direction I was trying to go. You really got to figure out, like, what are things that I got to put down? Because what happens is, no matter what you pick up, it will never make it to the destination if you have too much on you. And realistically, in your life right now, you've got things that are part of your life that haven't served you. You just have held on to them for too long. They're part of who you are. The bad relationship, the bad job you don't like, you've been holding on to it for so long. Why? It's who you are. I've put time into this. I've put energy into this. Why are you going to hold on to a mistake powerfully just because you took a long time making it? Not a good way to operate, right? So think about, what do I got to put down? What do I got to get rid of? What needs to be out of my life? What do I have to be able to say, you know what, no more of this, I'm done with this, because I've spent time developing, learning, building, figuring out, and this is what I've got. Now, what's cool is you can go through all this, you can say, great, that took me to my destination. And really, that is your process. And what you'll notice is, once you start figuring out what these things are, they come at different times. You'll find that to get up the hill, like it may not be linear like this. It may be like I started here, and then when I got to here, I picked this thing up, and then I put this thing down, then I learned this, and I stopped doing this, and I learned this, and I stopped doing this. That's your process. And what happens, you'll say, hey, in the beginning, I had to, start accepting I was in a bottom place. I had to, meet some friends and family. And then in doing so, like I realized that some of these, or meet some new colleagues and coaches, but friends didn't support me. So I felt down, and I had to get rid of these people in my life so I get back to a joyous place. And in doing so, I started getting more books and more information, and I applied it. But then at the same time, like it wasn't working. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And then I figured I got to get a coach to guide me, right? This is the up and down. That can become your process. And when you get this dialed in and everything starts to run smooth, now you can have this thing that at the end of the day, your goal is to say, look, I have this process and I feel really good about it. And I have this thought that if I really put it out into the world and I take an action on it, people are going to have their lives changed. And at that point, I'm going to have this really quick statement to say to you that you need to take into your heart. You cannot rob the world of the gift of you. I'm going to repeat this because I need you to hear this. You cannot rob the world of the gift of you, because this is stuff that you've learned, you've experienced, you've endured. I'm a man of faith. I believe God put me through a lot of different craziness, but I was supposed to go through that, to learn, to grow, to have empathy, to have compassion, to come and teach it to you. And if I didn't have a process, I didn't go through the work, and if I didn't have the gumption to take an action to push this out into the world, I'd be robbing you of this right now. You wouldn't have this to be able to go back and say, okay, I got these notes, I can create this process. I would tuck back, I'd play small, I'd miss out. And I'm saying but I need you to grasp that I'm really talking to you. You can't play small, you can't hold back. You need to put it out into the world. And when you can put this together, you'll have more confidence of realizing there was a reason for all the mess in your life. There's a reason you lost that relationship, lost that job, the reason you got sick, the reason you got hurt, the reason you made a huge mistake, and whatever it might be. Maybe you had addiction issues. Maybe you caused some pain to somebody or family. These things all had reasons, and it may not seem like it just yet, but if you take the time to pull back and unpack everything and realize, wow, I'm in a good place now. And I started down here where a lot of people are struggling, that I can actually go in and help. You need to go and have the gumption, have the wherewithal to say, I'm going to figure out what it is that I picked up and learned along the way. What are things that I had to put down along the way that were hard, but then now that I've done that, I can get other people to go through the same process to reach this destination. Turn your story into some sort of triumph and power for somebody who needs it right now. Because there's people every day needing coaching, they're needing guidance, they're needing everything you have inside of your head and your heart. So put it out into the world. That's it. Now take the time, create your process, and then go get people to go through it with you.